Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, this channel was created to talk about any topics about muscular dystrophy or disability in general. I always try to do my research on various topics about muscular dystrophy, basically just in general, like I said, about disability. And those of you that have muscular dystrophy, I'm assuming you guys get monthly this magazine called Quest that's provided by the MDA, the Muscular Dystrophy Association, and stuff. I know it comes with a lot of different articles, different topics we can say about disability, neuro diseases, like muscular dystrophy or any similar types of disabilities like muscular dystrophy. And I came across this article that I really did not take in consideration talking about this. I didn't really think about much, but anyway, supposedly it says in the article that it's October, supposedly Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I mean, I feel that a lot of people with or without disability, not all cases, but some people have dealt with domestic violence coming from your spouse, your partner, family member, especially caregiver, if you have a disability or you're an elder person that needs a caregiver. I didn't think about much about this until I looked at this article and feel like it was a very interesting topic to talk about since I know worldwide this is a issue worldwide, that affects millions of people around the world, not just people with disabilities, but for people with disabilities, it's twice as likely. That's what the article says for someone to deal with domestic violence from, like I said, spouse, partner, parent, caregiver, family member, whoever. But I'll get started. What it says right here, it says October marks Domestic Violence Awareness Month, an opportunity to shed light on and foster conversation about the alarming fact people with disabilities, such as those living with neuromuscular diseases, are at significantly higher risk for domestic abuse. I didn't know this fact, so maybe that's why I didn't take this topic into consideration, you know. But after reading that, maybe I think I need to really dig deeper what's going on. Like I said, people worldwide deal with domestic violence, even if they don't have a disability. But like you heard it right now, that there's a higher risk for people with disability to suffer domestic abuse. It also says, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, people with disabilities are 4 to 10 times more likely to experience abuse than people without disabilities. That's an interesting fact, honestly, because I mean, like I said, people without disability and disability deal with domestic violence worldwide. It's not something that you just deal with in a certain country. Specific in specific people. Like it says right here, people without disability have less likely to experience this than people with disability. And it also says with the heightened risk, learning how to recognize abuse and what to do it is essential. Wow, that's what it says. The first part of the article. Then it says the next part is called defending domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is a pattern of behavior used by one person to gain and maintain power and control over another person in an intimate or family relationship. I feel like people in general we think about when we hear domestic abuse on the news. We think about, you know, a person you're intimate with, your spouse, your partner, person who have, intimate relationship with. But we never really think about domestic abuse can come from a family member and stuff. Because when we, like I was saying, when we think about domestic abuse, we think it's the spouse, the husband, the partner you with, like it's an intimate or family relationship. So it can manifest in various forms. You know what I mean? Domestic violence doesn't necessarily has to be physical abuse, you know, or sexual abuse. Right here in the article, it shows you the four different types of domestic abuse. There's the one that I was saying, physical abuse involves internal physical acts causing injury or trauma to another person. Then, like I said, the sexual abuse refers to any unwanted sexual activity entailed by using force, making threats, or taking advantage of the victim's inability to give consent. Then we have, we also have the emotional abuse, which does not have nothing to do with physical abuse, sexual abuse, but emotional abuse can really affect a person. I feel like this is what it says, includes actions or that harm on their self-esteem, psychological well-being. Yeah, someone's any person's self-esteem is very important. Like, if you make someone's self-esteem go down, you really can affect them. But I know there are people like, oh, how is someone going to be affected by self-esteem? But a lot of people, aren't very affected by their self-esteem. They start having mental health if they have low self-esteem. Then there's another one. Like I said, there's four. This is the fourth one. Financial abuse involves controlling a person's ability to earn, access, or use money and other financial resources. I think this one can be more aimed to someone with a disability, but I'm not saying it can't happen to someone who does not have a disability, but this can be more. I think can happen more for someone. I think for someone who has a disability, but I'm not saying it can't happen to someone who doesn't have a disability. So those are the four different types of abuse someone can go through, domestic abuse, like it says right here. Then it says barriers to communication or mobility can make people living with disabilities more vulnerable, more vulnerable to abuse, and affect their ability to report the abuse or seek help. In some cases, individuals may be dependent on their abuser for care, making it challenging the abusive environment. Imagine having a disability and your abuser is the person who takes care of you. Obviously, they're not gonna take you somewhere where you're gonna report it. They're gonna probably take access to any form of communication from family members, friends, the emergency line, 911, or any place. You know how they ask you questionnaires at doctor appointment. You're suffering from abuse, any type of abuse, sexual, physical, mental. You know, not mental, emotional abuse, anything. How they ask you. And if you have some, and it's like I say, if it's your aggressor who is the one who causing domestic violence, obviously it's gonna be there with you, making sure you don't say anything. You know, it's not like even if you don't have a disability, it can be hard. I feel like to get out, depending on how the person is, but probably have a more higher chance to find a way to get a help. I mean, not saying it's probably the easiest thing. I'm assuming because I never gone through that, so I don't really know what a person is thinking in their mind, when they're dealing with this. The system that we live under ain't built for us, says Brianna Miles, a licensed marriage and family therapist living with SPIN1 muscular dystrophy type of congenital Nation, muscular dystrophy (CMD). Brianna uses a power wheelchair and needs assistance with activity of daily living. Like anyone who has muscular dystrophy needs assistance, like it says right here, with every activity of their daily living. We have to rely on other people to meet our basic need. I would say in most cases, survivor with disability experience will be from someone they trusted, family member, a partner, a friend, or even a caregiver. She said. Caregiver. She said. See, it's not just a partner. It could be, like it says right here, a family member, friend, or even caregiver. People with neuromuscular diseases often need assistance with daily tasks like cooking and cleaning, intimate tasks like dressing and toiling, healthcare needs like taking medication, and transportation, giving caregivers quite a bit of control over their well-being. I mean, even if people don't have a disability, sometimes their partner, their family member, their friend, like finds a way to control you with different things. But when you have a disability, like you saw right now, basically they have more control than someone who doesn't have a disability. But for those that don't have a disability, the abuser is gonna find a way to you know, get control of you with something that you care about. It can be anything. This makes people with neuromuscular disease more su- susceptible, susceptible to various forms of abuse, isolation, and neglect. You always have rest, says Eileen Carlo, a licensed mental health counselor living with Charcot, married to disease CMT. She's one of the 10% of those diagnosed with symptoms who experience full degeneration of motor nerves. She uses a ventilator. She has only facial and vocal muscle control. You have to be careful of your safety when you feel like you might know someone. She says. Honestly, I feel like you really never know someone that well. You think you know that person, but I don't think we get to know a person fully, I feel, at times. Recognizing domestic abuse is the next part. Abuse can look different for every person. It doesn't always involve physical violence. Knowing common signs can help you and your loved ones identify when abuse occurs and seek help. Common signs of abusive behavior. I think this is a good thing to mention in this video. One of the signs is using your disability to shame or humiliate others. The other one, it says minimizing your disability or claiming you're faking symptoms. Three, preventing you from making your own decision, including about working or attending school. Four, controlling your finances, such as by taking your money or refusing to provide money for necessary expenses. Five, isolating you from permitting discouraging contact with a friend and family member. Let me see. Six, threatening to abandon you or to harm someone or other. Seven, removing or damaging your mobility device. Eight, withholding medication or caregiving. Then the next part is how to navigate domestic abuse with a disability. Finding a way out of an abusive situation can be challenging for anyone, and people with disability often face additional barriers. However, it is possible with the right resources and support. Being prepared is key. Consider potential scenarios based on your situation and develop an action plan to get to safety. Your plan should include emergency contacts, way to get messages to trusted loved ones, local resources like women's and family shelter, and accessible transportation methods. After understanding her heightened risk for abuse, Eileen developed a plan that could be set in motion with a blink in my home. I have established a signal with my family and trusted nurses, so if I need to get taken out of the house, I use my eyes like an SOS signal, she says. Next, a friend will be alerted to come and take her to safety. If you ever in immediate danger, call 911 and ask for assistance. It's a good idea to have a device that responds to voice commands, such as a smart speaker, watch, or phone in case you can't dial. Emergency response can also help guide you to local resources for domestic abuse victims. And the next part is this: know your resources. Whether you're looking for support for leaving an abusive relationship or trying to understand what an abusive situation is, turn to these online resources. Office of Victims of Crime, links to publication, events, and training, and other resources to support victims with disability. It comes with a link. I'll probably check those links out and share some of these resources. American Psychology Association, Women with Disability, how to identify abuse and get help. That's another link. Article on recognize abuse, what to do, and how to find help. I think you probably have more information on the resources. National Domestic Violence Hotline, abuse and disability communities and people with disability and domestic violence, information on recognizing abuse, exercising your rights when seeking help, and an accessible hotline service for domestic abuse victims. I'll probably talk a little bit about these resources, how they help, if there's more information provided once I click the link. Sanctuary for Families, the link between disability and domestic violence. Article on being an advocate for survivors of domestic violence with disability and recently in the New York area. CDC, National Intimate Partner Sexual Violence Survey, collection of national state level data on intimate partner violence, sexual violence, and stalking victimization. By fostering an environment of education support, we can work toward dismantling the barriers that pre-took cycles of abuse. According to for advocating for disability rights and protecting from domestic violence and essential, not just during October, but every day. Collective action and informed advocacy can empower individuals to live free from the threat of domestic violence. I felt like this was a good video to talk about. Like I said, I didn't really think about this much, honestly. I mean, I really didn't think about it that much. I know there's abuse from caregivers, but I didn't know, like, because even with a disability, you're basically more surrounded by caregivers or family members than, uh, significant with a significant other, stuff like that. So I didn't really think much of it. But after reading this article, I think I need to research domestic violence and or abuse in general against the disability community, not just muscular dystrophy. I'll do my research and probably I'll upload future videos talking about this topic. Not just because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but I feel like it's a topic. Don't think it's talked about much. I feel like when it comes to domestic violence and disability. So I hope you guys learned something and you like this video. I hope this video can help someone. If you're going through this after reading some of the things you guys can do, I hope maybe you can find a way out of the terrible situation that you're going through. Everyone's at risk of going through domestic violence, but like I said, people with disability are hired to deal with that. So I'll leave it at that. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride.